Okay, so there we go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to have what we call a divider, a div box within our HTML page. Okay, so I'm going to start by creating a div box. Okay, have we all got that? In the head section, I'm going to add a quick style sheet. And then I'm going to save it into my computer, my document, 2018. I'm going to save it under all files like we've done before. Script drag.htm and call it JavaScript drag. So that I know you guys are copying it and it's now gone off. Just 1 second. Well, what I'm going to do is have it open on both pages like that. And I've done the wrong thing there. It should be a hash. And if you look at my screen, you should see that's what you end up with, is a nice yellow box. It doesn't have to be. It can all be on one line if you want. It's up to you how you want to do it. If you want, I could even put it into like a nice tabbed window.
Can it be any colour? Does it have to be one of the basics?
Sorry?
Can it be any colour?
It can be any colour. Yeah, any colour at all. You can use a hexadecimal code if you want to find anything specific.
Like that.
Chris,
Yeah.
what do you say that the file was?
.htm. So just say all files when it's on save as, don't save it as text. You should end up with a nice post-it note. File save as on the text file, and then make sure you put .htm at the end, or .html, whichever one you want. No, not yet. Not done it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, double click on the file to open it in browser. Yeah.
I'll see in my and it's dot.
Sorry. It needs to be what?
What are we calling it?
Anything you like, or then you finish .htm. Yeah.
Wait, nobody's now, is it? Wait, is there any way of opening it?
So you just put hashtag, then the number.
Good luck. I don't have to think. Wait, your fault.
I imagine we could run to the studio. Magic.
Right, let's just try this. I don't know if this is going to work yet, because I'm actually kind of doing this on the hoof. No, it didn't work. Is it on mouse down? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, now comes the other interesting bit, whether you're using Internet Explorer or Chrome.
How do you choose?
I think it should open in Internet Explorer. We're going to do it in Internet Explorer, so that doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to start now looking at. I'm just going to make this a bit smaller, so if you're still copying, you'll be able to still see everything. And I'm just going to change the font size down to about 18, maybe. Okay. You may see I've created this function inside the script called mouse down. I'm actually going to change that so that we can say documents.get element by ID draggable dot is it text or is it value? It's in the HTML equals mouse down. No, it's not. I need to put it in quotes. So all we're able to do at the moment is see if a key's being pressed down, moving, or up. Mouse move, down, up, move, down, up. And if I move it, it moves. Simple and straightforward. If yours isn't working, just double check it's get element by ID, not LD. Make sure draggable's in quotes. I've not put it in quotes originally. Sorry? I'm on it, am I not? Oh, sorry. Sorry, apologies. So I know I'm changing constantly. Let me just check it's got. Okay, you should still be able to see everything on the screen, I hope. Okay. So a little bit about JavaScript while you're typing and adding stuff into it. JavaScript is a weakly typed language. That means that when you set a variable, it doesn't actually know what type it is until it runs. So we don't have ints and booleans and strings and all sorts of other things. We just have the keyword var. Now you can actually run C# with vars. You don't have to use int strings and things these days. But it's still stronger type than JavaScript. So I've created three variables: var on move equals false, var x, and var y. The comma just means I'm creating two on one line because I'm being lazy. I've then created three different JavaScript functions or methods: mouse down, mouse move, and mouse up. And what it's going to do is get an element by its identifier, draggable, and then just change the writing inside the box. So change the writing from mouse down, mouse move, and mouse up. So if you click the mouse on the box, the words change to mouse down. If you let go of the mouse button, it changes to mouse up. And if you move the mouse, it will say mouse move, but only if you move the mouse on the yellow box. The next thing I'm going to do is a little bit of debug code, if you like. I'm going to get where the cursor position is, so that we can actually see what's moved on the item. think that's how I do it. I'm going to just have to double check because.
Mine breaks. Is it never works as well?
Yeah, it works. Yours breaks.
Oh, wait, no,
This is actually the X Y location of the house. So it starts there, it gets there, it gets that one, and it starts as well. So you have a quick look. So you get a one. Give it a try. Have you tried running it yet?
yeah.
Control actually. Tell you where your mouse cursor is on the screen. Okay, how are we getting on? Has everyone managed to get? Oh, is it working?
What's this new bit of code?
So this is new bit of code. It shows you where you've clicked on the screen. So if you want to
No, I checked there.
that's the mistake. Let's have it so okay, just do it over that side. So you just keep switching between one code and then on that side. So then on this, I put the word back on.
Yeah, it's not like
Oh my god, this.
yeah.
I'm about to start with. It's hard to keep typing and keep track of what's happening in the stream.
You know someone's going.
Yes, that's how you tell you. These are the touch boxes out. And I attach it to the main process of which I do as well. Okay. Are we all there yet?
No. Yes.
Do you want me to give you a printout?
That's okay.
Do you not do the speech one? No, that's the start. That's the start. That's the start. Yeah. That's actually an instruct. Yeah. That's an instruct.
Oh, yes, I think so.
Say that for it.
Oh yeah, you do the live editing thing, can't you?
Yeah.
Thing, can't you? I know what you're saying. Not what you're saying. Oh wait, what? What is? Oh yeah.
I don't know what you're on about.
So it doesn't work in the mouse.
Oh,
I actually can't see. Well, it's clearly all users. Everyone, it's the users here. I can't.
Oh, wait a second. I look like it. No. Look at Chris's. Look at yours.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You can see a big difference.
yeah.
Well,
You okay with him?
Yeah, but it's always obvious when you're not the one looking for it.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to the more complicated bit now, which is actually dragging a window. Now we have, you may notice, or you may already notice, if I press mouse down, as soon if I do mouse move, it's going to highlight the text for a start. If I move my mouse without it being pressed down, it's still registering mouse move. What I want to happen is I want to be able to click and drag this object, but if it's registering mouse move all the time, I need to know whether it's mouse down, mouse up, and at the point where I'm dragging it. So, what I'm going to do now is we're going to just comment out the lines of code that actually make things appear on the screen. That was just to test that our 3 different functions were working. When I press my mouse down, I'm going to set onMove to equal true. When I lift my mouse up, I'm going to set mouse up to equal onMove to equal false. Okay? Can you see where this is going? No? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to measure how far I've moved the mouse to then be able to update the location of the box. So how do I do that? Well, at the point where I press my mouse down, I'm going to set an X and Y value to the current clicked location on the screen. I'm just going to do the left first of all. Let me just double check this actually works, because I know what I'm like for coding. No, it didn't work. Hold on. If I just let me just try something out before. Don't copy just yet, actually, because let me just think what this is. Yeah, that's the drag, but it's getting the initial start point. Okay, that's fine. Right, just one moment, because well, I'm just going to go through exactly where we are. I'm just going to get rid of all this code to make it clearer for you guys to see. You don't necessarily have to delete your own code. It's just so that makes it easier for me to actually see where I am with my code. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, if onMove equals true, I'm going to allow the X location to be changed by however much I've moved my mouse since I clicked, and then you have to add pixels at the end to say that's the style that you want left. Now the problem is, style left, where I am at the moment, is always going to be set to 0, because that's a string, not an integer, and this is JavaScript, and this is how annoying JavaScript is. So what I need to do first is change that to get the actual the left object. Now, how do I do that? I can't remember. I have got some code somewhere that I put together. There we go. equals. Right, I have to pass the int, I think. No, it's not worked on that. Let me get this right, hold on. Hold on. Just wait a second, guys, don't type this. Yeah, it's not able to do that pass int. Hold on. Let me just have a look and see what the problem is on the pass int. Invalid argument. No, I haven't saved it yet, that's why. Right, that's a number. I'll just do that for. So.
Oh, it's no, just we had to open the displays.
Oh, because it's unset until.
Not only was it unnecessary complicated, yeah, it was also really pointless. Because in FPGA you have to create literally everything. So we were basically showcasing we can do maths, physics. Let's build our own physics engine. We have to physics code our own physics.
It's 226. Right.
And it's horrible. We didn't need to know it. We were using Unity and Unreal for development, which I built in these days. You just kind of yeah. I don't like it.
Right, that's okay.
Of course, there was a written exam and the protocol. A magician went around basically saying how pointless it was. No, not many people on the course, on the board myself included, did the practical work. We just focused on passing the written exam. Yeah.
Right, this is nice. The nice fun stuff about JavaScript is the style left isn't set until I actually set it here. So what's really stupid, I'm going to have to set this like this first, I think, for it to actually work. No, it's still not working.
I think you already see that.
Anyway,
Because kind of what it sounded
I asked him, should I wait for it to zero and say
I don't know.
You don't know either.
No, if he hasn't turned up, I guess he's not back.
I don't know. I haven't looked to see if he's turned up or not.
I
I just
don't
thought he
know,
might have
afraid.
seen you.
No, I haven't seen him today, so
Okay.
I'm afraid I don't know. Why is load not working?
how much altogether was it? I can get a laptop with the same graphics card. And it's 2 and a half.
Let me just try and load the page.
I've got a 16 gig of RAM, which
The
means
value of the property load page.
the GTX 2.2.
Oh, because it hasn't loaded at that point, has it? Oh,
Yeah, what you usually do. So I haven't played video games. Great. Highly
right. If I do it this way. Right. We're not there yet, are we? Right, this is just not working well today, I've decided. Let's. No, we are still doing it. Just give me. This is what programming is really like, where you have to spend half the time doing what you shouldn't do.
Oh, wait, Chris, do you know if Adam's going to be in tomorrow?
I don't, I'm afraid.
Probably not. The game was pretty good to be honest, but it only on Facebook.
Right, let's try that.
What's it called?
Syntax error. What's the syntax error? That's why that's causing a problem. So,
It was released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
right. So that now works. Okay, so then
I played around with on full track. Yeah, I would. I was like, oh my god, I went to not terrible at this game. There's a lot of things that you got. Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah.
right, this is a quirk of JavaScript just to really annoy. Invalid arguments.
If you should touch down as soon as possible, they can change the functions of your or yeah, it's a technique of speed racing.
Chris, have you ever heard of the best DVD?
Sorry?
You can rip any DVD with the best DVD rip of Windows 10.
Really?
Yeah.
That's always good.
That much faster. You want significantly.
Right, what I need to do is an unload event at the end. So if I move the script,
That's the indicator that you're open file, and 150 your write speed is faster.
just wait a second. And if I put script back actually where it was, that might do the trick. There we go. That's okay. Got there in the end. Right. The big problems are that JavaScript is awful and is up. Well, I beg to differ sometimes. Right. The problem is the style left is set by the style sheet, but for some reason JavaScript can't see it until it's been set in JavaScript. It's a quirk that's seen in quite a few browsers. I think it's okay in Chrome, but it isn't okay in Internet Explorer, obviously. So what I'm having to do is at the point where I load the document, body on load, I'm having to set in JavaScript the style left to being 50 pixels. Otherwise, it won't let me do what I then need to do afterwards. I'm also going to have to add in style top equals 50 pixels as well, so that it knows where it is left, right, up, down at the start. Okay. Now, what this will do, allow me to, when I mouse down, it clicks the mouse and finds out exactly where on the object I've clicked. As I then move the mouse, it says, have you currently got the mouse button pressed? If you have, we're going to change how far left this object is by working out how far left it currently is now. Then we're going to take where your mouse is now minus where it was before and turn that into a style by adding px at the end for pixels, because this is how annoying JavaScript and using the DOM actually structure is. That then has set the style left to being the new location. It then has to update the X value to be where the mouse currently is clicked, ready for the next mouse move, where it will move again. So that altogether means that as I click my yellow box, it's registered where I am, and I'm able to click and move, and it moves underneath the mouse cursor. At the moment, I've only done it for left to right, the x-axis. What I'd like you guys to do as well is make it work both for left, right, and up and down. All the rest of the code is there. The only thing you have to add is something into this onMove equals true if statement. You have to add a couple of lines of code in. You also need to make sure your body on load has that set like that. Otherwise, it won't work because JavaScript is a nightmare. And I will try and sort it in another way when I can get round to thinking about how that needs to be sorted.
Yeah.
That's because you made it, James.
Yeah, it's true. You meant to be able to drag it. Oh, I have made some of these. For a start, I'm just basically copying and pasting it pretty much into the other.
What would you say? You know where it is. Actually look at them. Yeah, no, it's just basically glance at them and see as much as you want when you're using it. If they don't see you do it,
I expected.
I don't know. They've changed it.
File left file. I was going to say we should really try and go join our market for getting good into the code. It's fine.
Yes, right. That's what programming's all about, making those mistakes. Is then you haven't quite got so frustrated hitting your head against the table for about an hour and a half first before then realising, oh yeah, it's as simple as.
Maybe there's a big
Green box
question that will be done.
going to a grid, if you like, so maybe you've got like another box there. And drag it over that and make it so it's just outside against
Here's the floor.
no.
I
I don't know if I could actually. I hope you can. But it's a start point to being able to click and drag an item on the screen. We've got one more thing to do, actually, Luke, if you want to do that, is make that code so it will work with how many items that you've got on the screen. At the moment, your code will only work with one item. Right. Take a look at the clue's quite displays because you're going to ask it that item each time. So what you're going to want to do is do it to a second item. So you somehow pass that into the code. Got it?
These passwords are the online. So you
Oh no, I can't press it. No, yeah, okay. I'm just.
you have to. Oh, is it not? Wait, to do the online. Is it something to do where
I don't know the answers in
That's there you go. You have cards that you can drag around.
I don't know.
Right, I'll go through it.
Yes, you have to
Yeah, I was
do
thinking.
A bit like you can on the smart phone.
Something is. Oh, no. Fine.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh no, that was me not trying to get right. There we go. God, I feel stupid.
Why is your box line?
What do you want about? Because wait. So do you get some cool? Oh, yes. Smooth copy. Copy script. That's it.
Why sign goes?
Let's say up and down.
Because
I was gonna say up and down.
Yeah. Really? I'm going to stop the live broadcast now.
Where's your need for test?
And no one will ever know you have to up
Wait,
or
you
down.
put it no, put it down. Oh, wait, you got that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Wait, wrong.
Let's stop this broadcast.